John Elway saying what we were talking about leading up to the Super Bowl for weeks, wanting to hold up the trophy for Pat Bowlen, say this one's for Pat, for the man that once held it up and said this one's for John. He's been dreaming of that moment, and he finally pulled it off. Steve Mariucci, that's why we watch sports right there, don't you think? What do you think?
Good morning, Rich.
How are you, Mooch?
How you doing? Yeah, it was fabulous. It was fantastic. The entire thing from start to finish. In fact, all week. After we did the post-game show, you didn't do the post-game show. We did the post-game show. Right?
How'd that work out for you, Steve?
So then, we drove all the way back up to the city, and I packed all my stuff. And I drove all the way back down home this morning, last night, middle of the night.
Hold on a minute, Steve. You didn't go to any Broncos post-game party for your boy Knapp? You didn't go do any of that stuff last night, Steve?
Rich, we were up for 22 hours straight. We were exhausted. I did. I saw Knapp before the game. Did you see him? He came to the set.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a Super Bowl ring, man. It's good.
Nap's got your boy Napper's got the Super Bowl ring.
The quarterback coach of the
Denver Broncos. So what did Denver do to Carolina last night? It just seemed off every single moment, from drop passes, balls hitting uprights. Even Rivera was making head-scratching challenges. What did they do last night?
You know who the other MVP besides Von Miller would be? Is Wade Phillips. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I sound like a coach, but man, he had a game plan. We knew that Denver had the number one ranked defense coming into this game, but they showed it, didn't they? Think about it. They just dismantled the number one scoring offense. Mm-hmm. Carolina couldn't do anything. They dismantled Tom Brady in his bunch the week before, hit him more than anybody's ever been hit. Then they dismantled Big Ben. Those are Super Bowl winning quarterbacks or MVP kind of quarterbacks that Denver defense just humbled. And so he had a good mix of dropping in coverage and blitzing linebackers, and I think they had a mismatch with Von Miller and Mike Remmers, that side, and then the other side with Blindside and DeMarcus Ware. The rushers were better. This is another example of defense winning championships, or just dominating those good offenses.
Yeah, but this is a passing league now. I mean, what happens now? What are we going to be talking about the combine and the draft? Is everyone's going to try and copy this?
Well, in a world now that we live in the NFL, in all football, it's a passing kind of a league, right?
Yep.
And rules are slanted for protecting quarterbacks and receivers. Let's throw the ball well. No touchdown passes in this game.
Unbelievable.
That's only happened 4 times in the history of Super Bowls.
Yep.
And the last time was, I want to say, 22 years ago.
Yeah, Aikman and Jim Kelly, Super Bowl 28, Steve.
28?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so how rare is that, especially when one of those quarterbacks happens to be the MVP of the league and the other one happens to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It was a defensive struggle, battle. If you love defense, you love this game. I loved the game all the way. Everything about it. I'm still on a Super Bowl high right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was incredible, Steve.
The pregame show, oh, my God, when all those guys came back. And then when those Blue Angels came over, man.
Yeah, I got all choked up myself. You sure that Super Bowl high wasn't just walking around town, Steve, in San Francisco?
You know what? My hat is off to San Francisco. Rich, you had a great time, didn't you?
Oh, it was great.
It was so gorgeous, and I don't know who was in charge of the weather, but the football gods beat down El Nino, and he didn't show up.
Now, I was just referring to that sort of similar moment we had in Oakland,
what
pregame show, that pregame show moment in Oakland, you know what I mean?
When Cheech and Chong were right next to us smoking doobies, I think.
Yes, that's the moment.
I didn't sense all. I didn't smell all that all week. Come on,
because yes, you were. So you think Peyton Manning should retire, Steve? What do you think?
Yes, I do. I do. How can you find a better moment to do that? Mm-mm. What are you going to do it again next year? And he missed games, and there was controversy. There was, do I play? What if Gary Kubiak didn't put him back in that game against San Diego when they were losing? Okay,
they wouldn't be hosting the trophy. That's for sure. They wouldn't be hosting.
Sure.
Nope.
And Peyton Manning might be still sitting on the bench. I mean, I don't know that was a defining moment in sports when Kubiak says, "All right, Peyton, you go in," and everybody went, "What?" Remember, we were watching from the from that room, and we all stood up like, "Oh, Peyton's going in! Are you kidding me?"
Yep.
And he played well enough to come back and win that game, and the rest is history, literally. And this is such a storybook ending. Come on, this is what you dream about. It can't get any better than this. It won't get any better than this. So I hope he does it in a fashion that is it's well-deserved recognition for the whole day, the whole week, whatever it ends up. But he's going to be able to be one of those guys that becomes the MVP of a Super Bowl as he retires, and it's happened 6 or 8 times. But hopefully it does again here.
Steve Mariucci joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Last night, Ron Rivera said of Cam Newton's post-game reaction in his press conference that he didn't come here to lose the Super Bowl. He came here to win it. So he sort of had his back a little bit.
He did.
But now,
and Ron does that with his players.
I hear you, Steve. But here's the deal, man. I mean, what does Ron Rivera say now in a quiet moment? There's video of his quarterback not jumping on a loose ball, sort of taking a step back from it.
Yeah.
And the crucial moment, and then the post-game stuff, bringing back to light when we were there Thursday Night Football and Eli Manning and the Giants beat him like a drum, and Steve Smith was making post-game comments saying that he had to have his quarterback had to have better body language. It all came back out of nowhere day after his MVP.
It did. We were in a van going back to the hotel, and then people, we were looking on Twitter and everything, and we were looking at this press conference. We didn't see it live. And I went, "Oh God, Cam."
Me too.
And because he's done so well, not just on the field, but he's been fun. He's been big smile. I said it on the air. I said next year you watch the whole darn stadium in Carolina's going to dab after a touchdown.
Well, what do you say to him now, though, Steve? If you could sit him down as a coach,
to me, I don't know what Ron will do. And I spoke to Ron on the field before the game, but as a coach. You're a teacher, and sometimes you're kind of a parent too, and it's like parenting in some ways with these young guys. You got to put your arm around them in a private moment because you do have a relationship with them, and you got to it's got to be a little bit of tough love. It's got to be listen. This is where you need to be. But you know what if you would take Peyton Manning's press conference after he lost the Super Bowl. 2 years ago. They got beat down 43-8 by Seattle. And he stood up there, okay, and in a suit and tie. And he was as class as you can be, and give the other team credit. And just take it on your shoulders like a man and say, you know what, we needed to be better. It wasn't our day. My hat is off to them. We'll be better. And, that kind of stuff. Instead of one-word answers and walk off early, I just felt, Cam, I know you didn't want to lose, but that's part of the deal here, and you got to be better in those instances.
Well, Steve, I'm thrilled that you came on the show every single Monday this year. You're part of the fabric of this show, and also, me and my family. You're just the best, Steve, and I can't thank you enough for doing it. And the thing I was most thrilled about today that you're on the show after a 22-hour day is that when Law called the house that you're still married to Gail after yesterday's Alessandra Ambrosio moment on our pregame show, Steve. I'm thrilled that everything's fine.
Well, that was the highlight of my Super Bowl day. You know that.
She gave you it was a three-kiss linger.
You're not going to keep making me do that, are you? Like till I die? I mean, you're trying to embarrass the old guy on the set all the time.
No, you wanted. Look, the bottom line is you got a three-kiss linger from a supermodel. You got it. That's great.
I had 2 supermodels in a row, man, and it was like Linger City. It was awesome. You know what? If I died today, I would go to heaven with a smile on my face. Okay, I got to unpack.
All right, Steve. Take care, bud.
Hey, Rich. Thanks for having me on.
Always.
It's been a fun year.
You're the best. That's Mooch.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.